How can ethnosemantics help document Indigenous knowledge systems accurately? Imagine trying to understand a culture just through outside eyes. It's like looking at a puzzle but missing the key pieces that make the picture complete. Ethnosemantics is a way to get those pieces by listening closely to how people in different communities describe their world. It's a part of linguistic anthropology that studies how language reflects how people think and organize their environment. Instead of imposing outside ideas, ethnosemantics focuses on what the native speakers themselves say and mean. This makes it a powerful tool for recording Indigenous knowledge systems because it respects their way of understanding and describing their surroundings. When researchers use ethnosemantics, they look at the words and categories that Indigenous communities use for plants, animals, landscapes, and social roles. For example, a community might have many words for different types of trees or animals, each with specific meanings that relate to their uses or significance. By analyzing these words and how they connect, ethnosemantics reveals the mental maps Indigenous people have of their environment. This is important because Western scientific categories might not match how Indigenous communities see their world. Ethnosemantics captures their unique classifications and relationships, keeping their knowledge authentic. Another way ethnosemantics helps is by uncovering how language encodes the links between culture and nature. Indigenous communities often have detailed ways of describing ecological relationships, like which plants grow together or how animals behave. These descriptions are embedded in their language, showing how they manage resources and live sustainably. When ethnosemantic studies document these terms and meanings, they preserve this ecological knowledge in its original context. This is especially useful for environmental conservation, efforts that want to respect and incorporate Indigenous practices. Using ethnosemantics also helps avoid biases that can happen when outsiders interpret Indigenous knowledge. Instead of forcing Indigenous concepts into Western categories, researchers focus on the native perspective. They work directly with community members, asking them to explain their words and meanings. This approach ensures that the recorded knowledge truly reflects how Indigenous people see their world, not how outsiders think it should be understood. In addition, ethnosemantic data can be combined with other fields like ethnobotany or ethnogeology to create detailed records of Indigenous knowledge. This interdisciplinary work supports efforts to preserve cultural heritage and can guide sustainable resource use. It also helps foster respectful dialogue between Indigenous communities and researchers, policymakers, or conservationists. Understanding the language and concepts of Indigenous peoples builds trust and opens pathways for collaboration. Practically, ethnosemantic research involves collecting vocabulary lists, studying how words are related within semantic domains, and observing how meanings change in different contexts. It requires close cooperation with community members, often through interviews or participatory observation. The goal is to document the language as it is used naturally, capturing the richness of Indigenous worldviews. Overall, ethnosemantics is a key method for recording Indigenous knowledge systems accurately. It respects their language and worldview, ensuring that their understanding of the environment and culture is preserved in its true form. This approach helps keep Indigenous voices at the center of their own knowledge, rather than losing it in translation or external interpretation. It's a way to honor their ways of knowing and ensure their wisdom is recognized and valued for generations to come.